to add or subtract polynomials, all we want to do is add or subtract like terms. So a skill you guys have been doing for years and years and years now. So one thing to be careful of is a lot of people see these parentheses in these problems, and their mind automatically jumps to multiplication. They see parentheses, they think distributive property and FOIL and all that. But just be careful, it's not what we're doing here. Look, it's an addition problem or a subtraction problem. So just watch out for that. We're not multiplying. It is just adding up like terms. So we want to be into something called descending order, which means start with your highest exponent and then work your way down the list. So I'm going to do like, the single underline thing like you guys probably learned to do. There's my highest exponent, x to the third power. When you combine like terms, the rule is to add up the coefficient, the number in front, and keep your exponent the same, so 3x to the third, and then just keep going down the list for your next exponent. So next up would be x squared. There's -5 of them there and 6 of them there. Those add up to 1, x squared. Next up would be my x term, and I'm noticing that's the only one that has an x term in it. So that just comes straight down as part of my answer. And finally, we'll always end with the constant. So there's -9, and there's +11. Those will add up to +2. So there's my sum of the two polynomials. It's as simple as that. Just add or subtract like terms. When we subtract, I don't really like to subtract, so what I'm going to do, the trick that I showed you guys in class, was change that to a plus sign. You're allowed to do that, but it costs you something. You've got to change all the signs after that as well. So make that a -5 z squared, a positive z, and then a -3. So you can subtract if you want to, but I like to do this adding the opposite trick. So once again, start with your highest exponent, the squared in this case, and then work your way down the list to put it in descending order. So 4 plus -5 is -1, z squared, add up the coefficients and keep your exponent the same. 9z plus 1z gets us 10z. And finally, for our constant, we've got -12 and -3 adding up to -15. So there's my simplified polynomial once I've subtracted them. And our last example has a number to distribute first. So once again, I've got a little trick I like to do. If it's a negative sign, change that to a plus a -2, and then just make sure that -2 is what gets distributed. If you don't do that trick, some people forget that that negative sign gets distributed and everything is being changed in that second parentheses. So let's do the distributing first, same as always. So multiply your coefficients, so -6x squared, +8x, and then finally +2. And as we've always done, let's go ahead and add up some like terms now. So start with your highest exponent, that's the x squared term. Notice this time they cancel each other out. +6x squared and -6x squared is gone. So my first term is actually just going to be my linear term, the x term. -10x plus 8x is -2x. And finally for my constant, +5 and, not -1, +5 and +2 add up to +7. So there's my simplified answer.